Hey you guys, welcome back. Look, we have been doing a lot of videos lately on how to deal with someone who's really toxic. The reason why this is so important, I want to put an emphasis on this and I want you to understand each step of the way on how to not be so reactive to this person. The emphasis with all of this is that it actually drains your energy. You're the one getting frustrated. You're the one that's getting aggravated. You're the one that keeps going back and forth with this person. This person may absolutely tell you, I don't want the drama. I don't like the drama, but they do. They love it. They feed off of it. Nothing frustrates a toxic person more than you knowing how to control yourself when you're around them. When you have self-mastery, you're basically saying, hey, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, I'm not going to be reactive to it. And that is the ultimate power. And that's what we want. We want to be confident around these people. We want to be able to control ourselves. We don't want to engage in the back and forth drama with this person. So if you say you don't want the drama, then this is what you're going to have to do. I'm saying this because this is not going to be easy because they are going to trigger you. So whatever it is that they were doing that was causing the drama, it's probably going to get a little worse because what they're going to start to learn is that what they used to do is no longer getting a reaction out of you. First thing I'm going to say is you have to be able to give them absolutely nothing. Silence is the ultimate weapon that you want to learn how to have. That means we're not eye rolling. We're not having a deep sigh. No matter what they say to trigger you, no matter what they do that they've done before. And if you know this person really well, you know exactly what they're going to do and say. You are smart because you are self-aware. So use your self-awareness to your advantage. There's no, I can't believe this face. I can't believe you're saying this face. None of those things are happening. Everything that they're doing is just bait. It's just the bait to see if you will actually engage with them. And they're going to get frustrated when they realize that you're no longer taking the bait. Number two, you want to have neutral energy. And here's how you have to play this game is because it really is a game in the very beginning until you just become this person and you get, this is now your norm on how you respond to this person. But in the beginning, you're doing something different. So it's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be a part of you that's going to try to make you feel like you need to fight back, like you need to do what it is that you've done before. Everything that this person does has literally nothing to do with you. You need to repeat that over and over again because that will help you to start having more of zero expression, blank stare, no reaction, no nodding, no frowning, no engaging at all. You can respond to them, you can say things, but no matter what you say, it has to be completely monotone. There has to be absolutely no energy tied to what it is that you're saying. What you say also plays a really big factor. You're not over-explaining yourself. You're not trying to convince this person of your side of the story. You don't need anything from this person. That means you're not going to need an apology. You don't need them to change. So when you really break those things down, what are you really even saying to this person? You have to start looking at this person as a child. Doesn't mean you have to be condescending and talk down to them, but when you see a child throwing a tantrum, you understand why the child is throwing the tantrum. They're throwing it because it's bedtime and they have to go to bed. They're throwing it because they can't have any more chocolate cake and they want to eat all of that chocolate cake. So you don't engage with a toddler when a toddler has a tantrum, and you should not be engaging with this person when they start doing whatever, throwing shade at you, being nasty, saying something hurtful. So you kind of have to take the emotion out of what's happening between you and this person. I know it seems like a personal attack. I know some of the things that they're going to do and say are the most hurtful things that probably anyone could ever say to you. That could very well be the case. They could try to cut you in a place that no one has ever cut you before, and it hurts because they know exactly where to cut you. So I know none of that stuff is fair, but I need you to really understand that yes, while they have the insight on the things that you're fearful of, insecure about, etc., they're just using that as bait. When you are healthy, someone's words or something that someone does no longer will trigger you because you're healthy yourself. You know that all of those fears, all those insecurities, all those things that you have circulated in your mind that you're scared of, that you're nervous about, that they don't really mean anything. You're dealing with your own stuff all on your own. So someone bringing that stuff to the forefront means absolutely nothing now because you're learning how to deal with your demons. Number three, when I say disengage, and I don't just mean with words, I also mean being able to strictly just walk away from the conversation. There's a difference between walking away or not saying something and it being the silent treatment or just walking away and literally pretending like someone's not even standing there. No. We want to be able to interact with this person, but we also want to be able to walk away when the conversation is not productive, not healthy, all of those things. And you want to be able to state those boundaries. Nothing frustrates a person, especially a toxic person, more than being completely ignored. They start their usual rant, their usual manipulation. When they try to do that, when you acknowledge it, when you are so self-aware of it, look, you're learning all this stuff. You know all the terminologies, you know all of them. Gaslighting, manipulation, passive aggressive, all that stuff. So since you know all of this, use it to your advantage. It doesn't always even mean that you have to call the person out and say, hey, you're being manipulative now, although you very well could. But all you have to say is, hey, I don't like the way this conversation is going and I'm disengaging now. That's it. Period. You practicing how to be consistent and, repetition is everything. You don't need to change the sentence. The sentence can just be the same thing over and over again, and you being able to follow through. I don't like the way this conversation is going. I don't like the way it's making me feel, and now I'm walking away. Those are the boundaries that you set that you can very much see. So you being able to have boundaries, and everything that you're saying is monotone. There's no eye rolling, there's no attitude, there's no yelling, there's no screaming. I cannot tell you, please go do this and come back to this video and please comment down below, because I want you to tell me how it feels to be in such control of yourself and being able to see exactly what's happening with this person and you being able to handle yourself completely different. I cannot tell you how much power it feels to be able to just do that, let alone once you get really comfortable with this and now you can actually engage a little bit more or go a little bit more back and forth, not arguing, not going back and forth with the drama, but just you being very consistent with your boundaries. Some boundaries are visible, meaning they're words that you say, hey, I'm putting a boundary now, I'm disengaging from this conversation. Others aren't words, they're just actions. You deciding in your mind that their behavior will no longer affect how you feel about yourself and understanding why they're trying to cut you down or why they're doing this thing or why they're saying that thing. Once you understand that, you have absolute control to make a decision on whether or not that person is going to affect how you feel about yourself. That's mental health and that's self-parenting. When you stop engaging, they lose control over you. And of course, it's going to frustrate them, but that's actually your power. And the more you keep doing it, the more powerful you feel, the more confident you become, the more comfortable you become in having these interactions with this person, because now you're going to start being consistent. When you're consistent, they have no choice but to change their approach or their tactics or how they approach you in conversations in their relationship with you. So this is where they're not going to change their character, but they absolutely are going to have to change how they interact with you, because no one is going to keep touching the stove once they've burned themselves. So once this person knows every single time I touch the stove, I burn myself, I don't get what I want, they're going to do something different. And this is where they leave you alone, or this is where they don't do that thing because they're not going to get what it is that they came to get from you. I want you to understand this. Someone who is toxic, unhealthy, narcissistic, okay, we're going to lump them all in there. Not every person is narcissistic, I get that. There are a lot of toxic people though, and there are a lot of unhealthy people that they don't necessarily mean harm, but they're unhealthy. So when I say unhealthy, what I mean by that is I don't have any coping mechanisms to be able to manage myself or deal with myself. So when I feel uncomfortable, I need something. I need a distraction. I need to let it out. I need to let out my frustration, my aggravation, my sadness. This is where the term emotional punching bag comes into play, is that this person doesn't know what's going on inside of them. Maybe they're not even being honest with themselves to even know that they're sad, they're angry, they're frustrated, they're whatever the word is, whatever they're feeling in that moment. But they don't have that level of self-awareness to even know that, let alone having the actual coping skills to be able to deal with that. So now we go to someone who's narcissistic, doesn't know any of those things. Someone who is toxic probably doesn't either. Someone who is unhealthy may very well want to be able to help themselves, but they don't have a high level of self-awareness, or they just don't have the coping skills. Most people, 99.9% of people out there, are walking around with an inability to have either high levels of self-awareness or an inability to know how to cope when they feel uncomfortable. And so what they do is they do things or say things to let out the steam, essentially, to the world, to you, to the stranger on the street, because they're uncomfortable. They need a distraction from how they they actually feel, because most people are not actually even taking care of themselves on a day-to-day basis. They are not mentally taking care of themselves, emotionally taking care of themselves. They don't know how to validate themselves. They don't even know how they feel, quite frankly. And that's what contributes to unhealthy relationships, to majority of the problems in the world, is because you have people walking around that just don't know how to take care of themselves. The reason why I say that is because everyone has problems, but that person being uncomfortable is not your problem. So you letting them, or learning how to let them sit in their own chaos and not engaging where you are actually their emotional punching bag, is what you need to do to be able to distance yourself from this person. So the next time someone tries to kind of pull you into the drama, just remember, silence is always, always going to be more powerful than words. You don't have to fight with them. You don't have to engage with them. You don't have to go toe to toe with them. I guess the real big takeaway at the end of the day is you can, write all this stuff down. Here are the 5 things that I need to do, and I need to be super mindful when I'm going into an interaction with this person. But if you're still unhealed, if you're still wounded, which majority of us are when we're in interactions with these people, you're going to seek validation. And when you seek validation, that's why you fight back. That's why you want this person to agree with you. That's why you're so offended when they do something or say something, because you take it personally. This is where you want this person to apologize, or your ego is so triggered that you want them to acknowledge what it is that they did or said to you that really hurts you. When you are healed, you no longer need that validation. And when you don't need that validation, you approach people very differently than you ever have before. This is where all of these things that I've talked about are very easy to do, because you're no longer unconsciously looking for something from this person that they shouldn't be giving you. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Again, please comment down below if you've done this and you have actually felt what it feels like to feel that calm and confidence around this person, and how it actually changed your relationship with this person. I would love to know that too. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.